The Church of Nativity is in the Manger Square, and we have the church on one side, and then we have the Mosque of Omar on the other side of the square. The Mosque of Omar is also one of the oldest mosques we have in Bethlehem. It has been around since mid-18th century, and it underwent like expansions in the year 1954. The reason for that is pretty simple. Like if you came to Bethlehem in the year 1946, let's say, you would find out that we have 1,800 people living in this town. Up to 80+% of that population were born to Christian families. When you come to Bethlehem in 1954, let's say, or 1952, you'll find that the majority of the population that lived in Bethlehem were Palestinian refugees. Bethlehem had to go through another miracle in the 20th century, besides the miracle of the virgin birth, which is a social economic miracle in which it had to provide shelter and safety and a place for Palestinian refugees that were expelled from more than 60 communities around Bethlehem to the west of the town. Those Palestinian refugees were expelled as the State of Israel was being founded by 70,000 militants that committed atrocities, pushed people away, and many of those people ended up in the town of Bethlehem. So if you are in Bethlehem and you were born to a Muslim family, you are more likely to be a Palestinian refugee that was expelled from a nearby community, and your family was never allowed back to that community because of the State of Israel. And many of the Palestinian refugees that ended up in Bethlehem in the 50s, 60s, and so on tried to go back to their communities, but then were either murdered or arrested or deported to a different place by the State of Israel. The town of Bethlehem has 8 quarters, one where the Church of Nativity is located, and the other 7 are residential. One of the 7 is where Muslim families from Bethlehem live, and the 6 others are where those who were born to Christian families live. So we have 8 quarters altogether. Those 8 quarters are connected together and also connected to the heart of the city, which is the Manger Square and the Church of the Nativity. So we're talking about quarters that are 200, 300, 400, and sometimes like 700 years old quarters. The city is full of old stones and full of stories. Like almost every family can trace itself back to like few generations because they continue to live at the exact same place where their family started here in Bethlehem.